Big Tech, the Magnificent Seven. These companies seem invincible. It doesn't matter what happens to the rest of the economy. It doesn't matter what news come out of the Federal Reserve or other central bank. These companies just seem to carry on and everyone loves them. In this video, I won't talk about whether that's right or whether that should continue or not, because honestly, I don't know and no one knows. But it's a short video where I want to explain a very important difference between two groups of the big tech companies, and also explain why the idea that the economy can be going south and small businesses and even medium-sized businesses can struggle, and yet big tech can just keep marching forward without any issues, is a fallacy, and it just doesn't work. And now I will explain to you why that is. You see, big tech are companies in the technology and other sectors which are basically united by one common factor, and that is that they are massive adopters of technology, they're innovators, and they're basically the most valuable companies of today's world. But they're not all equal. Let's take a look at the Magnificent Seven, because these are the companies that have basically carried the rally of the stock market in 2023. Now, when we look at the Magnificent Seven, there are two very distinct groups in these companies, and I'll explain to you right now why that's an important distinction. First, which are the Magnificent Seven companies? Microsoft, Apple, Google, Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon. So, why can they be separated in two very distinct groups? You see, one of these groups makes their money by selling products or services directly to the user, and the other group is basically acting like a platform and is allowing third-party businesses to access the user base that they have created throughout the years and do business with their user base. So they're kind of like a middleman between the businesses and the users. And there is a distinct difference between those two groups of companies. So what am I talking about? Basically, you want to think of one group as companies that sell to users, and the other group as platforms that sell their users. That's a very important distinction. You see, there's an old saying about the internet. Well, if it's about the internet, I don't know how old it is. Regardless, that if you're not paying for the service, you are the service. That's certainly the case with one of these groups. What am I talking about? First, the group of the companies that are selling directly to the user. We're talking about Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Nvidia. What does Apple do? They sell laptops, they sell iPhones, they sell their operating system, the iOS, and so on. Now, they obviously also have the App Store, but we're not going to talk about that now. We'll focus on their core products, the products that basically made them famous and made them one of the biggest companies in the world. So, as I said, that's the devices that they sell and the operating system. Microsoft, what do they sell? Mainly software services, Windows, Office, etc. All right, Nvidia, the star of 2023. What is it they sell? Chips. Basically, they power all of the artificial intelligence development, the development of the computing power for big tech, etc. Clear. All right, Tesla, what do they sell? Well, they sell cars, and they sell the software services connected and needed for these cars. So why is that important? It is important because these companies make their money directly by the end user, and the end user cannot basically live in the modern world without their services. I mean, they can live without Tesla. That's not that much of a problem. I'm sorry for you EV maniacs, but it's a fact. I mean, I don't drive an EV and I'm completely fine. But if we think about Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia, I mean, without their products, we are not going to be able to live in the modern civilization. If you don't have a computer, if you don't have a phone, if you don't have an operating system, if there's no one to manufacture the chips for all the electronics that we use, basically, we're all screwed. And so their business, in my opinion, is a lot more resilient because the users obviously can downgrade, but will pay whatever they have to pay in order to have access to their services and to their products. Now, let's go to the second group. We have Meta, we have Alphabet, the parent company of Google, YouTube, etc. And we have Amazon. What is the uniting factor? What is the common thing between these three stocks that I just said? They're all platforms. They're not manufacturers of products or services. They're mainly platforms. So let's go through them one by one. What is Meta? Meta is a connection of different social media like Facebook, Instagram, etc. And they own those apps and billions of users are using them. What is Google? Google is a company with a variety of products, mainly known for their search engine, but also Google Maps, Gmail, etc. They provide these tools to the users and they are free. That's very important. Both Facebook, Instagram, Google Search, Gmail, YouTube, etc. They're all free. As I said in the beginning of the video, if something is free, then you, the user, is the one that is the product. So if we think about Microsoft, when I pay for Windows, I'm not the product. Windows is the product. I'm the user. But if we think about Meta, when I log on to Facebook, I'm not the user. I'm the product. Because Meta is selling me. It's selling my attention. It's selling my information to advertisers. Same with Amazon. What do you think Amazon does? I mean, yeah, they have the AWS, but just like with Apple, there are exceptions. That's fine. However, Amazon is basically a platform where sellers of all sizes can sell their products and connect with buyers that are looking for things to buy. And when they connect, there's a transaction. Amazon is the middleman. They have also their own fulfillment services where third-party sellers can store their products and have Amazon store and ship, basically fulfill the orders for them, etc. There's a big reason why I'm making this distinction. As a person who has been doing online businesses for nearly a decade and has made the majority of my money there, I'm intimately aware of the business model of these three companies because basically I have used them for almost a decade. Meta, Alphabet or Google, and Amazon are the three main companies that small and mid-sized businesses use to reach the end user. And so this distinction is important because if we think about the economy as a whole, as I said, users are very unlikely to stop using Apple or Microsoft or Nvidia's products. But it's not that clear what happens when a lot of businesses are having trouble and the users are still using Google Search for free and they're still using Facebook for free. They're scrolling on Instagram and it's free, but there aren't enough advertisers that want to reach them because their business is going south. And that's the distinction I want to make. There is this idea that big tech is somehow invincible, that, for example, Russell 2000 or other indices, which are comprised of smaller businesses, can be performing really bad, but big tech will always perform great, and the Magnificent Seven are basically excluded from the rules of the economy. They're not, especially the platform type of companies. Because think about it, if less advertisers want to reach customers because they don't have enough money for advertising budget, that's going to directly affect the profit of the platform companies. If there aren't enough sellers who want to sell their products on Amazon, obviously Amazon is not gonna be making such a profit. If there aren't enough people who want to be seen on Facebook, then they won't be paying as much ads to Facebook. I mean, these companies don't make money out of thin air. Who do you think their customers are? Remember, as a person who both uses Facebook and advertises on Facebook, I know that when I advertise on Facebook, I am Facebook's customer. When I chat with friends or upload pictures on Facebook, I am Facebook's user. These are not the same. And so if I'm a Facebook customer because I'm a business and I want to advertise my products, but the economy is not doing well and my businesses are struggling and I don't have enough budget to advertise, well, then obviously these companies are not going to receive my money. And if that happens throughout the economy, well, then their results won't be that great. And so, of course, there are lag effects. Of course, these companies form a monopoly, or basically in the digital advertising space, a duopoly between Meta and Alphabet. But what I want to say here is that they're not immune to the pain of small and mid-sized businesses. And if you are investing in these companies, while they're going up, and you're thinking, hooray, let the Russell 2000 struggle, let these small and mid-sized businesses struggle. I don't care because I own Meta. Well, who do you think pays Meta? Who gives money to Meta? The same businesses that are struggling. So this is just a video that I wanted to create on the topic to make that distinction and to let people understand that there are two types of Magnificent Seven stocks, and one type sells to the users, and the other type are platform companies that connect users to businesses. And the type of companies which are platforms can struggle if the other businesses are not doing really well. So it is all interconnected. Let me know if you found this video useful by clicking the like button, and also to continue with your investing education, click on the video that should have appeared on your screen right now. I will see you there.